everyone, and welcome to the Eigo Love YouTube channel. My name is Lacey and I'll be your English teacher for today. Today we will be studying cooking vocabulary. This should be useful if you're watching cooking shows, talking about cooking with your friends, or reading English recipes. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to start off with words that are categorized as cutting words. Chop. So to chop means to cut finely. Chop the beef and put it in the pan. Or we often say chop up the beef. Next we have dice. Dice is even smaller cut, and so we would say dice the tomatoes and then mix them in with the other ingredients. Or when you go shopping at the grocery, we often have cans of diced tomatoes. Next we have the word mince. So this is another way to explain cooking, or not cooking, cutting, and it's again small, and we use it most of the time for meat. So we say mince the beef and fry it. Or in the store we have minced beef, minced turkey, minced chicken, etc. Next we have cube. So as it sounds, a cube is actually a square, a 3D square. And so when we say cube something, it's make it into small squares. So cube the potatoes and put them into the water. So, yeah. Next we have the word slice. So slice is to just cut thinly. So we would say thinly slice the cucumber. So you just cut up the cucumber. And then we have the word julienne. So this means to cut into long strips. So julienne the cucumber. And the last in the cutting category is peel. So peel is a little different, but you are using a utensil to take off the skin. So peel the potatoes before boiling. Peel the potatoes before boiling. You can use a knife to peel, but you might cut your fingers, so usually we have a tool called a peeler. Some of these words are actually interchangeable, so maybe not for the more professional chefs, but for an everyday situation, many English speakers mix the word chop, dice, cube, slice. Even in my house, my father, my mother. So I wouldn't worry about too much about the specifics as long as you know about, if it's meaning cutting big or cutting small or specific shape like cubed. Also, as a special note, Julienne's spelling might be a little weird, but this is because it's actually a French word that we just mixed into our English a long time ago. All right. Next, we are moving on to the category of words that use fire. So the first word we have, my favorite, bake. So this means to use an oven to cook. So put the pan in the oven for 20 minutes to bake the cake. We often use this at the grocery store, for example, baked goods. It means sweets because you have to bake the sweets. Next, we have the word grill. So when you grill something, you use a grill. So it's outside, you've got coals, fire, and then just something to put the food on. So for example, grill your seasoned salmon. Grill your seasoned salmon. So grill can be a noun and a verb. Next we have the word broil. Broil is using just the top heat of the oven. So broil until the cheese is melted. So because it's using the top heat, it's easier to just melt the cheese without overcooking the rest of the dish. Next we have the word sear. So to sear is to just lightly fry, to lightly cook, and outside typically meat or something. So for example, lightly sear both sides of the steak. It means to just lightly cook both sides of the steak. Next we have the word roast. So roast is just a way to cook the meat. So usually to roast you use an oven, or you cook it in some water. So, or another liquid, it could be a soup. Roast the beef in the oven, like roast beef. And lastly, we have the word toast. To toast, it means to just, usually we use this for bread, but to just lightly make it crusty or like hard on the outside, usually we use a toaster. So lightly toast the bread. All right, so let's review the fire words one more time. Bake, grill, broil, sear, roast, and toast. So, and each of these words are used, some are used more frequently, some are used less frequently. The most that I hear would be bake, grill, and toast. A lot of the other ones are used for specialty cooking. So if you're not super into cooking, you might not have the chance to use these words that often. Okay. Next, we have words that use water. So first we have stew. So stew means cooking in water, a liquid, or soup. So for example, stew the meat and vegetables in a light broth. So this is, in this case, it's a verb, but it can also be a noun when we're talking about a specific type of food. So when we say a stew, it's basically like a soup. Next, we have the word braise. Braise means fry lightly and then stew. So for example, braise the lamb in the vegetable broth to give it flavor. Okay, next we have boil. So boil means just cooking it in boiling water. So when the water is really hot and bubbling. So for example, boil the potatoes until soft. Next we have steam. So to steam something means to cook it using the steam or the hot water vapor. So steaming vegetables helps keep the nutrients. Okay, and the last word that we have in this category is simmer. So to simmer means to lightly boil something on a very low heat for a long time, typically a long time. So let your chili simmer until you are happy with the consistency. So basically what simmering does a lot of the times is to help get the extra water out so you have the thickness of that you are looking for. All right, so let's review the water words one more time. We have stew, braise, boil, steam, and simmer. Next, we have words that use oil. There's only two in this category, but we have the word fry. So to fry something in a pan. So this uses just a little bit of oil and usually it's done in a fry pan. So mix the ingredients and fry them in a pan. And then the other word we have is deep fry. So this means that you're submerging, you fully put the food in the oil. So there's a lot of oil. So deep fry the chicken nuggets. So this is the chicken nugget, this is the oil, fully put the chicken nugget in the oil. Okay, so let's review the oil words. Fry and deep fry. And our last category is other words. So in this category, we have microwave. So when we say microwave something, we mean to just put it in the microwave for 2 to 3 minutes. So microwave the frozen pizza for 5 minutes or something like that. This is very American. We have lots of frozen foods, so it's a word that I use a lot. Next we have smoke. So when you smoke meat, you use smoke to give it flavor. So for example, smoking meat gives it a unique flavor. So often in the store you'll see smoke flavored cheese or something like that. Next we have a flavor. So it means to give food a taste, a specific taste, so that it's not just plain and boring. So add any flavor you like. And flavor can be noun and a verb. Next we have the word marinate. So marinate means to season and leave in the seasoning for a longer period of time. So for example, marinate the meat for 4 hours in the fridge. So you're leaving it in the seasoning for 4 hours. Next we have sprinkle. So to sprinkle means to just lightly add a little bit, like this. So sprinkle salt and pepper over the veggies, so not too much. We have season. Season is to add flavor, taste. Usually it's herbs, salt, pepper, things chili powder, things like that. So season the veggies lightly using salt and pepper. So season the veggies lightly using salt and pepper. We also use this a lot of times as a noun in the grocery store. So we have seasoning that come in little packets and you just pour that over. And our last word for today is caramelize. So we caramelize by cooking until very brown and it has a very strong flavor. So caramelize your onions. Most of the time when you say caramelize, it's for the onions. All right, and so let's review the last few words. So we've got microwave, smoke, flavor, marinate, sprinkle, season, and caramelize. Great job today. That is all for the cooking words. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment box down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the Eigo Love YouTube channel, and check out our other videos. We have lots of interesting English videos and many, many teachers. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.